Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Mainz 2, Newcastle United 1. It was bound to happen, and you know what? Call me crazy, which I'm sure you will, but I'm glad it's happened. I'm glad it's happened now, especially because we need to learn from our wins as well as learning from our defeats as well. So again, I'd rather it happen now, pick up all the mistakes that we've learned from, and then hopefully we should be good to go on the 30th of August against Spurs of all teams. Great way to kick off our season, eh? So without further ado, let's get into the starting lineup. Now, talk about the noticeable absences. We have the likes of Elliot. Obviously, Elliot now wasn't playing in the game. He was feeling unwell, so again, he was rested, and Darlow was brought out of non-existence, basically, to fill in his shoes. And it's quite clear to see that he might be sticking around for a little bit longer than Rafa intended to. Now, back four was the same as, I think, the previous game as well. So we had Yedlin at right back, Dummets left back, and as captain, starting captain, should I say, because that ban was passed around more than, I don't know, a cold. I tried to think of something wee, but it didn't come out. And then in centre-half positions, you had Lejeune and Clark, two left-footed centre-halves. Kind of looked a bit odd, but again, hey, beggars can't be choosers, because at the moment Lascelles is out and Mbemba is on the bench. Now in midfield we had Ritchie and Murphy on the wings. Pretty much straightforward from what I would like to see going into their first game of the season. And then in centre midfield you had Colback and Diame, not exactly the most positive of central midfield pairings. And then up top we had De Jong sitting behind Mitro. And again, I'll just leave that there with my monotone voice at the moment, because that was shocking. As you can also see, you can see the Mainz team on the screen right now. Not too many that I can pick out from, but again, you'll discover some names as this video goes forward. So let's talk through these goals. Now, these are two shocking goals that we need to cut out. Fantastic from Mainz' point of view, but from our point of view, that is awful and ugly to watch. Now, their first one scored in the open 5 minutes of the game. No, we didn't even find our rhythm that early, and they scored in the first 5 minutes of the game. Long looping ball coming across the halfway line over Ritchie's head, which again, not even contested. Finds one of their players on the left-hand side. They do a quick 1-2. Diame's caught ball watching as well. Ball goes into kind of like the left wing channel sort of area, and Yedlin has a kind of a brush off, if you like, gets nowhere near the player. Somehow I think it falls to maybe Blasis, who plays in Maxim, cuts open our defence, and Maxim's just like, here, it's bloody Christmas and my birthday all in one, and slots it past Darlow in goal, and that's it. I mean, from all of that, all of those elements of the goal there, you know, you've got to look at yourselves and think to yourselves, guys, put in a challenge anywhere will do. And especially that final ball that cuts in between the centre of our defence there, we don't want to see that at all. Now, moving on into the second half, that's where we rang the changes. And obviously Jesus Gomez gets the goal. Now, God knows why he's the furthest forward, or one of the furthest forward as well. Maybe we don't even need a striker as it is. You know, Jesus Gomez is our saviour, and he's there to save the day and be our #1 striker. Who knows? But yes, Jesus Gomez got the goal, bit of a sloppy goal. Atsu's bombing down the right-hand side, swoops in a lovely ball into the box, bit over hit, I think. Then it's headed out by the Mainz defence. Then the ball finds its way to Paris, who unintentionally, I think, hits it towards Jesus Gomez, and then his kind of scuff shot takes a deflection and is in the back of the net. We're back in the game at 1 apiece. And then their second goal, again, fantastic move by them, but poor defending by us as well. Ball on the right-hand side, you know, low cross into the box, which finds itself into the midfield area. I think Diame tries, or maybe Mbemba tries to stick a foot out, but again, misses it altogether. They've got a spare man on the left-hand side, which is Fisher, and then Fisher slots it home first time, and it's 2-1 with 5 minutes to go, and the ex-Middlesbrough man pops up to save the day. So again, two very well goals by Mainz, and again, we're going to come up against teams who can pass it around. Look at the likes of Arsenal, who like to do that. Chelsea at times, Man City at times. If we can't do it against a team that finished 15th in the Bundesliga, what does that mean against teams in the Premier League? Now, I think really and truly now it's quite clear to see we need some unity in that central midfield area and up top. I mean, we defend as a team, and attack as a team as well. And again, it was clear to see that this is not working, especially that central midfield area, that sort of unity wasn't working. In the second half, obviously, we rung the changes. More noticeably, we brought Perez on. I think he changed the game a lot. And again, obviously being his birthday, he was out with a point to prove. Because again, it's kind of unclear where he's going to be used. I think in this game, he's used more up top as a number 9. But again, in other people's eyes, including mine, you see him as a number 10. Also, more noticeably, Aarons came on. Again, I think he had a very, very, very massive impact. And it'll be a shame to see him kind of push down the pecking order, because again, we've got a lot of competition in those wing areas. Don't get me wrong, Richie had a very good game. Again, he's a workhorse, he'll run his socks off. Had a bit of a quiet game in terms of productivity though. Again, same with Murphy, but Aarons, as soon as he came on, full of pace, full of guile, and he was going straight for it as well. Atsu as well. Again, his presence was shown, because again, he's got a point to prove as well now. Just because he's got the deal doesn't mean that his work stops here as well. Also noticeably in defence now, Manquillo came on for Yedlin. Yedlin had to come off as a precautionary measure. Manquillo slotted in, and I think he did pretty well as well. And then Marino, the new signing, he only got 10 minutes towards the end, and he was pushed into the centre half position as well, as opposed to defensive midfield. More positive news, I would have to say, probably Woodman. Again, he made a fantastic save in the second half. It's rumoured that, again, he's being pushed out on loan. Hearts are looking at him, Northampton are looking at him, Bury are looking at him. But again, I don't know if you would class him as a number 2 or even a number 3, because at the moment in time now, Darlow's future is uncertain. Hall's pretty much halfway out the door. Sells is on loan to Anderlecht, which leaves us with Elliott to start the season, and then who else? Because we don't seem to be making any headway with any goalkeeping targets, so who knows where his future is going to be. Now, the main frustration, and again, it's been time after time now, we've run out of excuses, is Mitro. Now, for a guy that was in form, if you like, scoring 2 in the last 2 games, for him to come up with nothing, pretty much nothing, looking lethargic, not looking bothered, it's hard to try and stay motivated with him, because here is the thing. You've got a great opportunity now. We've only effectively got 2 strikers at the club. Now, it's clear as day we need more strength and depth in that area. But while we're trying to do so, now is the time to prove yourself, Mitro. Bust the gut, track back, take your chances. This is the thing, because it's clear as day that Gale's going to be the number 1 choice, and rightfully so. But again, as soon as we don't have Gale on the pitch, we don't do nothing. It's a clear learning curve. As I said at the start of the video, I'm glad we didn't win this game, because we didn't have Gale starting, didn't have Shelby starting. Lascelles wasn't there as our captain to lead the side. So again, that's 3 key men out already. And again, we're losing to a half-decent team, a team that came 15th last season in the Bundesliga, that we're losing to. Now, the previous, 3 games that we've won 2 and drawn 1 against Hearts, Preston, and of course, what's the other one? Can't remember the other team. That just goes to show that Bradford, there we go, came to me. We won against Bradford, a League 1 side, 4-0. It just goes to show that we can beat these teams, but these teams are not really considered Premier League opposition. Bearing in mind, we're playing Spurs up first, we're playing the likes of Chelsea who've recruited well, Arsenal, Man City, Man United. If we can't beat a team in the Bundesliga that finished 15th, albeit I know it's a friendly, we're going to struggle a little bit this season if we don't recruit very well, especially in those forward-thinking positions. So there we have it, man. So moving forward now, we're on to Sunday. We're going to see out the rest of the week. We've got Wolfsburg up next on Wednesday. Will we have another signing on board? Who knows? We've been linked with the likes of Lucas Vázquez from Real Madrid, another winger. Can't really see that going very far, but again, who knows? We don't know the plans of Rafa. He's keeping it all under his hat at the moment. And then obviously we've been linked with Lucas Perez from Arsenal. Obviously he's been looking for a new club, obviously with the likes of Lacazette coming in and him falling down the pecking order at Arsenal as well. So lots been going on behind the scenes as well. Now, more positive news, under 23s, they won their Whitby Town Challenge Cup. They defeated AZ Alkmaar 4-1 with a hat-trick from Ivan Toney. Now, I said in jest on Twitter that, it would be good to see him in the first team, because let's face it, There's not many forwards at Newcastle United banging in the goals, and he scored 5 and 2 now, I believe. So again, who knows who's going to be chucked in at the deep end at Newcastle United. Right, so you're probably saying Forde, so let's take some positives out of this as well. So the positives starting off with Jesus Gomez, who got his first goal in pre-season. I think that's his first goal for the club as well, correct me if I'm wrong. Well taken goal, although it was a bit of a shambles by the goalkeeper. But again, take him as to take him. And again, fair play to Jesus Gomez. We all thought that he'd be first out the door, me included. But he took his goal well, and again, it might be a crucial player going into this Premier League season as well. Now, something else that that was quite noticeable, not in this game, but in a different game, Arsenal versus Benfica. They ran out 5-2 winners, but there was a noticeable absentee in that team as well, which was obviously Samaras. Samaras we've been linked with for what, about a week now, should we say? And when asked the question, I believe the Benfica manager, name escapes me at the moment, apparently about Samaras, will he be leaving or not? Apparently he replied back that it's up to the board. So again, his future might be up in the air a little bit. Who knows what might happen with that one. Now, something that I would like to see going forward into the next game is actually changing the formation. As I said previously before, we need to see if certain things can work against certain teams. Now, we're playing better opposition as opposed to the previous 3 games. So I'd like to see at least a 4-4-2 in there, see how Gale and Mitro play together. Maybe even include some of the under-23s. They're starting to shine now. See if they can have a future at the club. And maybe even keep 1 captain instead of 3. In this game, we started off with Dom as captain, then we went to Colback as captain, then we went to Shelby as captain, okay? I know we're trying to see who's the leaders in the team, but let's maybe stick with 1 or 2. Let's not pass the parcel with our captain's armband and make a mockery of the thing. So that'll be some suggestions going into the next game. I don't know, who am I to judge, eh? I'm just a Toon fan. And then if you want some more positive news, then the last things I'm going to say to you is on this day in 1996, we brought the man home. Alan Shearer made his illustrious £50 million move to Newcastle United. And then in 2015, that man, Chancellor Mbemba, made his move from Anderlecht to Newcastle United, and he never gave the ball away since. Now, in fact, it's funny enough that Lee Rudd from the Chronicle picked up on his antics after the final whistle now. Apparently he was waving to the fans, which he found a bit odd compared to everyone else. So maybe that's a suggestion that he might be moving on. There's rumours that Rafa needs to get some of the high earners off the wage book. And again, we've got the likes of Shelby, which, let's face it, we can never get rid of him. And Mbemba might be disposable again if we can get another centre-half in. So who knows? I'll leave that one to you guys. So that's it now, guys. Again, we've suffered our first defeat of the pre-season, but again, it's not all doom and gloom yet. We've still got all of our players intact, pretty much. We're still room with a lot of players coming in, and I'm sure we've still got to shift a hell of a lot more out of the books. More positives is towards the Newcastle under-23s who won the Whitby Town Challenge Cup, so congratulations to you guys. And fingers crossed we can get back to winning ways against Wolfsburg, setting us up nicely for the start of the Premier League season. Thank you guys for listening as always. I've been Forde, and I'll see you guys all soon.
When you play these kind of games, what you want is to improve the fitness of the team. You want to be sure that everybody understand what we want to do. And then I think we started more or less well, I would say, in terms of organisation and pressing. But then we didn't regain, and we gave them the chance to play counter-attack and score. So something that we can improve. At the same time, we have some good play. We were defending sometimes well and sometimes not so well. So that is precision. You have to adjust things. The second half, a little bit more pace, a little bit more intensity, and we have some chances. I think overall it's a precision game that you have to consider was positive in a lot of things, and even the bad things you have to work on that. So that is something that you can see here, and then you can improve and prepare the team a little bit better for the league games.
And things taken shape in terms of you've got 5 players in now. It's looking good on that score.
Yeah, I think obviously it's important to have new players and players in this kind of games, using all the players, and then they need to understand each other a little bit better. But that is the precision. So the precision is to be sure that you keep working hard, you keep improving in all the areas, and it's what we are doing now.
And positive that Marino got his debut, albeit as a centre back.
Yeah, we didn't want to. I don't think it's his best position, but because we wanted to protect players, and then we gave him 50 minutes as a centre back. It's another option. He was not training during the pre-season, so has been with the Spain under 21s, and after he was on holidays, so his match fitness is nothing.
Yeah.
Then I think it was important to play him in a position that he can be more comfortable, and little by little he will improve, and he has to give us quality on the ball.
And back here for another game very soon against Wolfsburg.
Yeah, I think we'll be more or less similar, because German teams, like English teams, we have a way to play more or less, no? So I think it will be similar. Hopefully we can be a little bit better, a little bit fitter, and then we can play also a little bit better. So today it wasn't a great game. It wasn't really bad, but it wasn't a great game.
And just a quick one on the fans who travelled all the way here. Another amazing effort.
Yeah, so they are really good. It was a hot day. Hopefully they will enjoy now the rest of the day. But yeah, they are always supporting the team, and that is very positive for our players.